Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about a miracle that has happened in Tonga that relates to church members that are there. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you end up liking it. Make sure to leave your comments and your thoughts in the comments section below. And then make sure to share this. This is a amazing story. This is a story that we should keep in mind for ourselves. uh, there really is protection in being a member of this church, and I'm about to show you. So I was made aware of this by Janet Carlson. She comments a lot on the channel, and she shared this bit of news, and so I looked it up just to substantiate it and verify it, and sure enough, okay, this is a BBC article called Tonga Volcano, Biblical Disaster Shakes Most Mormon Nation in the World. And it is, because it had, if I remember right, 63%. I think it's like 63% of the country are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So it's like a Utah in the Pacific. Okay, so this is what happened. Let's go down here. I'll probably read some of, like, maybe this whole article. I don't know. Let's just see how things go. Okay, actually, let me zoom in, because there's some people that like to follow along. Okay, the tiny island of Atata, which has a population of fewer than 100 people, had been flagged by New Zealand and Tongan government authorities as one of the islands of greatest concern, as it was closer to the explosion. Almost all of the homes on the island were destroyed when the volcano erupted. Okay, almost all the homes on the island were destroyed when the volcano erupted. But everyone managed to get to the church's chapel house in time, which survived. Quote, everyone on the island stayed in the church building and were safe, but every other building, we understand, was destroyed, except for this one in the middle of the island, end quote, Mr. Hunter said. Okay, and looks like this is a photo or a picture of it. Let's see. The church's meeting house was the only building that survived on Atata Island. That is amazing. It's amazing. How can you not see this as a miracle and just one of the very uh, many signs that there are that this really is the true church. You know, miracles happen with other churches, sure, but like with everything that we've been talking about on this channel and watching this situation, and then we see this unfold before our very eyes at a time when church leaders are continually talking about standing in holy places for safety, and both spiritual and also in this case physical safety. Let's continue. He said the church's properties are built, quote, as strong as we can build them, because we know we're in a dangerous part of the world where a cyclone or a tsunami can come through every few years or so. So our members know they can go to their nearest church when the wind is very strong to take refuge from the storms of life. In this case, both in a spiritual and physical sense. New Zealand authorities confirmed on Wednesday that the residents of Atata had been successfully evacuated to Tongatapu Island. Let's see. Mr. Hunter said additional air cargo shipments of water, masks, and phones are also on the way from the church's chapter overseas, but like the official aid being sent by governments and the Red Cross, it's being held up by the damage to Tonga's air and seaports. Quote, church leaders continue to, I don't know how to say this word. I know it's related to liaison. Liaise with government officials so the church can support humanitarian efforts in the coming days and weeks, end quote, the church wrote on its website. Church services this coming Sunday will be home-based, and Latter-day Saints will be invited to fast, pray, to give thanks for the many lives which have been preserved, and to plea for a return to normality. So, excuse me, so that, I don't know, it's amazing. This is an incredible visual. You know, this is actually a real case, a real happening of what our general authorities have been talking about. Standing in holy places, in places of refuge and safety, in both senses of the word. It's crazy. Okay. Only the church was left standing. Okay, there's the temple there. Let's read a little bit from this article, see if there's anything else. Let's see. The South Pacific nation of Tonga has been devastated by a volcanic eruption and subsequent tsunami hitting the shore. Kilometers underwater, the 15th of January explosion ripped apart a deep-sea internet cable, uh, severing the only cord of modern communication connecting 100,000 people to the rest of the world. On the streets of the main island, Tongatapu, blue skies filled with ash clouds and the loud bangs of the earth cracking open. Here, oh, I guess that's just like, okay. Here in the most Mormon nation in the world, many terrified locals began to pray. The details of the Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai explosion are, after all, on a biblical scale. And Tonga is a very devout nation. While there are other denominations on the island, nearly two-thirds, 63% of Tongans belong to or grew up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormons according to the church's statistics. The U.S. religious group has been a leading presence on the island for over a century, since Western missionaries reached its shores and swayed its royal family in the late 19th century. Per capita, Tonga has the highest number of church members. And the church, with 174 congregations in the community, has taken a prominent role in offering essential shelter and resources to Tongans in the aftermath of the disaster. Church is an integral part of island life for many locals. All shops and businesses are closed on Sunday, in keeping with the day of rest. But last Sunday, locals were thrust into a state of crisis after the huge natural disaster. The morning after saw soot raining from the sky, leaving a black film of black volcanic ash across the island, according to the church on its website. The church's most senior ecclesiastical figure on the island, Elder Inoki Kupu, said, "There's only one color in Tonga right now, and that is a dark rust, or a dark dust." The church's central role. Days later, Tonga still remains largely cut off from the outside world, and among the few channels of information coming out are from the diplomatic missions of Australia and New Zealand and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church's chapters in New Zealand say they've been getting all their information from daily satellite phone calls with Elder Kupu, who's been leading the church's aid and recovery effort on the main island, Tongatapu. Drinking water is the immediate need, the church said in its update, echoing the Red Cross and others, and what the Red Cross and others have been saying. It's reported that about 1,000 people have been taking refuge each night at Liahona High School, one of 6 church high schools on the island. Another place of refuge, a church-owned high school. Is that what it said? Is it church-owned? Let's see. One of 6 church schools on the island. So yeah. People are sleeping in schools and churches, then going back during the day to clean up their homes and sweep. Richard Hunter, a spokesman for the church based in New Zealand, told the BBC, "There have been a few less people each night as more people are staying at their homes, but still people are relying on that function of the church," he said. The organization has also handed out thousands of masks to residents to help them breathe amid the blanket of ash. Early on in the pandemic, the church had secured a store of 50,000 masks in anticipation of COVID spreading to the remote nation. Instead, Tonga was hit by a different wave, the tsunami waves, some up to 15 meters high, having caused significant destruction to many coastal areas. All right, and then it just goes into that part that we already read. So, I don't know. It's just amazing, and For all any of us know, this could be us at any time. At any time. Um, I think the Lord really is preaching his own sermons right now. I really do. It's just the natural disasters for the last few years have just been crazy, off the scale, unusual. We're just gonna have to see what else happens this year, you know. But we started out this year with this crazy eruption, the largest since what was it? Since 1991, and the loudest since the 1800s. Yeah, the Lord is preaching his own sermons, and it really does seem, in a sense, that he's starting with his own house, with these areas where there's a lot of members of the church. Um, Including the Western United States with the droughts and the fires. And so everyone be ready. You know, make sure that you have a plan. Make sure that you have emergency supplies, food storage, water. You know, take care of yourself, and then, you know, the Lord will do the rest. So let's all just remember this story as we move forward into 2022. Make sure to share this because this is simply amazing, and hopefully this will wake some people up and give people something to think about. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it. Make sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys later.